Hi, this is Taylor with Pup to Perfection Dog Training and Behavior Consulting. And today I'm going to show you 2 different exercises for teaching your dog to go out around a cone. Now, which method you pick is going to depend on why you're teaching this behavior in the first place. I teach a dog to go out around a cone for a few reasons. Number 1, it's a really great foundation exercise for agility. I also use this as a game for fine-tuning my heeling. So teaching the skill of going out around a cone is very practical if you're planning on getting involved in dog sports. But even if you're not, it's just a fun trick to teach your dog. And you can do it with anything, even if you don't have a big orange traffic cone like you're gonna see in my video. Anything that stands upright on its own will work for this. I have had students go buy brand new plungers from the dollar store and use those. But it's just a fun trick and a good challenge if you're looking for something new to teach your dog. Now, let's get into it. This game comes from Susan Garrett, and the first part of the game is just teaching a dog to pattern going from dish to dish. So all I'm doing here is saying dish, and then placing a cookie in one bowl, and then saying dish, and placing a cookie in the second bowl.
Dish. Dish. Dish.
Now, after some amount of repetitions, it's going to be different for every dog, you should start to see them going from dish to dish before you put a cookie in it. Like you'll see Finley here.
Dish.
There. Starting to pattern to go from one dish to the other on his own. Once you have a dog that's consistent about it, like Finley's still kind of confused about what he should be doing,
Dish.
but you'll see in a second here he starts to pick it up really quickly.
Dish.
Like that. That's good.
Dish. 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 Dish.
So once your dog is going from dish to dish confidently like Finley's doing here, you can do the next step, which is starting to widen the bowls so they're farther apart.
Dish. 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 Dish.
And again, you want to make sure your dog is confident with this step before you move on to the next step.
Dish. Dish.
The next step is adding in the cone. So you're going to place the cone right at your feet in between both of the bowls. Now, if your dog gets a little bit stuck like Finley did here, Finley does a lot of paw targeting behaviors as a default when he's not sure what to do. All I did was wait for him to look at one of the dishes, and then I said dish, put a cookie in the dish, and as soon as he starts moving away from the first dish, I say dish again, and put a cookie in the other bowl. So he's going to start going back and forth from dish to dish, going around a cone. Perfectly like that.
Dish. Dish. Dish.
Your next step is to scooch the cone a little bit farther out. Don't move it too much at first, just a few inches out. So your dog is going to have to start going from one dish out around the cone to the other dish.
Dish. Dish. Dish.
And I'm using the word dish as a marker cue to mark the moment that his nose is starting to pass the cone. That's when I'm saying dish and putting a cookie in the next bowl.
Dish.
And that's it. That's the whole game. The trick is to move the cone slightly farther out, only a little tiny bit at a time, so that way the dog isn't getting it wrong. They're consistently going from the bowl out around the cone to the next bowl without trying to pass in between you and the cone. We want them kind of going in a U from one dish out around the cone to the next dish. If they start trying to cut in between the cone and you to go from one dish to the next, move the cone a little bit closer to you so that way they can't get in between your legs and the cone until they're more consistent about going out around the cone, and then start to slowly move it farther away.
Dish. Dish. Wow, so clever. Dish. Beautiful job, buddy.
The next progression of this exercise is to do it standing up. So we start by sitting down so that way the dog can't go behind us trying to go from dish to dish. Once you're standing up, they have that option. But because you've set them up to be successful of only ever repeating going from the dish out around the cone to the next dish, they should theoretically pick up where they left off. As you can see with Finley, I did have to use a little tiny bit of a hand signal to help him out. If you have to do that, don't be afraid to do it, but maybe move the cone a little bit closer so they can get it right first.
Dish. 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 Here, it bounced out. You're a good boy. There you go. Dish. Super.
And then same thing, you're going to just start to move the cone slightly farther away from you every time, so that way the dog is going farther out from one bowl, out around the cone, farther and farther away to the next bowl.
Wow, Finley. Oh, sorry. Here you go.
Then you can start to use whatever cue you want to tell your dog to go out away from you around a cone. I say check, check, check. That's the cue that I use for agility, so I'm just using it for this. You could say wrap, you could say turn, you could say out, you could say send, you could say cone. It doesn't matter as long as you're consistent.
Check, check, check. Dish. Check, check, check. Dish. Check, check, check. Dish. Check, check, check. Dish. Oh my. Bouncy ones. Check, check, check. Dish. Good boy.
And then eventually you'll get this.
Check, check, check. Heel.
So with this method, you're going to hold a cookie on your dog's nose, you're going to let them nibble at it, and you're going to lure them out around a cone, and then I'm saying find and tossing the cookie on the ground, so that way my dog isn't getting it out of my hand, so they're less glued to my hand. Rinse and repeat, remove the cookie out of your hand, add in the word you want to use, add in some distance, and voila, you will get a dog that goes out around a cone. This method is faster, but you get a dog that's more reliant on your handling to go out around a cone than with the Vito's thinking game.
Check, 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 check. Find.
And that is it for today's video, you guys. Thank you for watching. And if you play around with this skill with your dog at home, make sure you take a quick video and post it on social media. And please tag me. I'm just at Pup to Perfection on everything. I want to see you guys having fun and training your dogs to do lots of cool, fun things. And if you're looking to get some more personalized help, I do offer virtual consultations and virtual coaching. So you can always email me. I'm just Taylor, Taylor, at puptoperfection.com. I'll have that right here as well. You can always shoot me an email to get in touch with me as well. All right, guys, happy training.